Tonight, we witness a pivotal moment in American history, one that will be debated for generations to come. A seismic shift in American gun laws is unfolding before our eyes, reshaping the very fabric of our society. 7 more states have just eliminated the permit requirement for concealed handguns, bringing the total to 36, an overwhelming majority. Now, a clear majority of states allow individuals to carry hidden firearms in public without mandatory training or a government-issued license. This means millions more Americans can now legally carry a concealed weapon as they go about their daily lives. Just a few decades ago, this would have been unthinkable. In the 1990s, strict permit laws were the norm, and the idea of permitless carry was considered radical by most lawmakers. The implications are profound, touching daily life everywhere, from parks to shopping malls, from quiet neighborhoods to bustling city centers. The presence of concealed firearms is now a reality in nearly every corner of the country. For some, this is a long overdue restoration of constitutional rights, a reaffirmation of the Second Amendment. For others, it's a dangerous erosion of public safety and a source of deep anxiety. The debate is fierce and emotional, forcing us to confront our beliefs about freedom, responsibility, and the role of government in our lives. The momentum behind this movement has been building for years, but 2026 marks a true tipping point, a year that will be remembered as a turning point in the national conversation. What was once a patchwork of strict regulations and varying state laws is rapidly becoming a more permissive, unified system across much of the country. This dramatic shift is driven by passionate grassroots activism, relentless legal challenges, and a series of landmark court decisions that have redefined the boundaries of gun rights. Understanding how we arrived at this moment is key to understanding where we're headed next. The story is complex, shaped by decades of advocacy, tragedy, and political change. In this series, we'll break down the arguments, examine the data, and hear from experts on all sides of the issue to help make sense of this new reality. This is not just a political issue, it's deeply personal, affecting families, communities, and the very sense of security in neighborhoods nationwide. The core question remains, does removing permit barriers make us safer, or does it invite chaos? As America stands at this crossroads, the answer will shape our future for years to come. To truly understand today's headlines about gun laws, we need to look back at a decade marked by rapid and sometimes unexpected change. The story of permitless carry in America is one of shifting attitudes, legal battles, and political strategy, a transformation that has redefined the national conversation around the Second Amendment. For most of the 20th century, carrying a concealed weapon was considered a privilege granted by the state, not an inherent right. Strict regulations and discretionary permitting were the norm, and only a select few could legally carry firearms in public. But that began to change in the late 20th century, as states started adopting shall-issue laws, making it easier for ordinary citizens to obtain permits. This momentum eventually led to the push for constitutional carry, where no permit is required at all. For decades, Vermont stood alone as the only state with permitless carry. But in 2010, Arizona's decision to follow suit marked a turning point, setting off a slow but steady domino effect across the country. The real acceleration, however, came after the landmark 2022 Supreme Court decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, which fundamentally changed the legal landscape. The court struck down New York's restrictive permit law, declaring that gun regulations must be consistent with the nation's historical tradition. This ruling set a powerful new precedent for courts across the country. Almost overnight, this decision supercharged the permitless carry movement, emboldening advocates and lawmakers to push for even broader reforms. Legal challenges to existing restrictions multiplied, and courts began overturning long-standing laws that had been in place for generations, creating a wave of change that swept through state legislatures. Political momentum, especially in conservative-controlled legislatures, did the rest, turning what was once a fringe idea into a mainstream policy goal. This dramatic shift is the result of a long-term, highly organized strategy by gun rights groups who have worked tirelessly to change laws and public opinion. Today the debate has evolved. The question is no longer just, should people carry guns, but, can the government regulate it at all? A fundamental shift in the terms of the conversation. In just a decade, permitless carry has moved from the political margins to the mainstream, fundamentally altering the balance between gun rights and gun control in America. The landscape has been transformed, and the effects of this decade of change are still unfolding across the nation. The start of 2026 marks a watershed moment in American gun policy. 7 new states have adopted constitutional carry, bringing the total to 36. This rapid expansion signals a dramatic shift in the national landscape, as more states join a growing movement that has gained momentum over the past decade. Nearly 3/4 of states now embrace this policy, making it a national, not just a regional phenomenon. What was once considered a fringe idea has now become mainstream, reshaping the conversation about the Second Amendment and personal freedom across the country. The new laws are similar, no permit required to carry concealed, but each state's approach has its own nuances. Details like minimum age requirements, background checks, and restrictions on carrying in sensitive places still vary, reflecting ongoing debates about public safety and individual rights. Legal battles continue over what counts as a sensitive place. Courts are now tasked with interpreting these new laws, and their decisions could set important precedents for years to come. This legislative wave coincides with a renewed federal push, the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. Lawmakers in Washington are debating whether to create a unified national standard for concealed carry rights. If passed, the act would require all states to recognize each other's carry rights, overriding stricter local laws, and potentially transforming the patchwork of regulations into a single, nationwide policy. In just 15 years, the movement has gone from one state, Vermont, to a supermajority. The pace of change has been unprecedented, with state after state joining the ranks in quick succession. The debate is shifting. It's no longer about expansion, but about the fate of the 14 holdout states. These states now face mounting pressure from both within and outside their borders to reconsider their stance. Legal precedents and federal pressure are mounting. The Supreme Court may soon be called upon to weigh in, potentially setting a new national standard. The map is being redrawn. The trend is clear. The momentum is with constitutional carry, and the remaining states are now the exception, not the rule. The country's approach to gun rights has fundamentally changed. Americans are now grappling with what this new reality means for their communities, their safety, and their freedoms. The question now, what happens next? The stakes are national, and the outcome will shape the future of gun rights in America for generations to come. Supporters see constitutional carry as a restoration of a fundamental right. They argue the Second Amendment is all the permit anyone needs, and requiring government permission is an infringement. Self-defense is central. When seconds count, police are minutes away. They believe permit requirements only disarm potential victims, not criminals. There's also an equity argument. Fees and training can be barriers for low-income and marginalized communities. Making carry free and simple, they say, ensures equal access to self-defense. Supporters cite studies showing no increase in violent crime after permitless carry laws. For them, the evidence is clear: more freedom, not more danger. Opponents, including law enforcement and medical groups, warn that removing permits is a reckless gamble. They argue that permits ensure background checks and basic training, keeping guns out of dangerous hands. Without permits, police can't easily verify who's carrying legally, making encounters riskier. Training requirements, they say, prevent accidents and misuse. Polls show most Americans, including gun owners, support permits. Critics see permitless carry as an extreme policy pushed by a vocal minority. They fear it undermines public safety and ignores the will of the people. The debate is fueled by dueling statistics. Gun control advocates cite studies linking permitless carry to higher gun assaults and homicides. Gun rights groups counter with research showing no negative impact on crime rates. Both sides accuse the other of cherry-picking data and flawed methodology. The result, a confusing landscape where data becomes another weapon in the culture war. Studies differ on timeframes, crime categories, and controls for outside factors. The truth is complex and consensus is elusive. The data war mirrors the nation's polarization. The rise of constitutional carry is reshaping American society. The knowledge that anyone could be armed changes daily interactions. Some feel safer, others more anxious. Minor disputes can escalate, and the social impact is real, if hard to measure. Politically, gun rights have become a litmus test, pushing the debate further right and galvanizing gun control advocates. The legal landscape is unsettled. Courts are busy defining the limits of the Second Amendment. Ongoing lawsuits target restrictions on sensitive places and other regulations. The next major battles will be in the Supreme Court and Congress. A pending case could redefine who is prohibited from owning guns. Federal reciprocity legislation could create a national standard, overriding state laws. The future of gun policy is uncertain and fiercely contested. The stakes have never been higher. 7 more states have embraced constitutional carry, making it the law in most of the nation. Supporters call it a victory for freedom and self-defense. Opponents see dangerous deregulation. Both sides wield data, but the facts are fiercely contested. The public is left to decide whom to trust. As consensus slips further away, the debate is now about reality itself. Freedom versus security, trust in citizens versus trust in government. There are no easy answers. For over 200 million Americans, permitless carry is now reality. The country must live with the consequences. The question: what kind of nation are we creating? This is a moment for careful consideration. The debate is far from over. We'll keep asking the questions. The future is in our hands.